Greetings, fellow traders. Bubblehead here. It's time for the daily market wrap for Friday, December the 3rd, 2021. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only, not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, well, let's check and see where we left off in the market here today. So SPX, guys, woo! Monthly chart, hanging in there. We are below the shooting star candle from last month, but we are also holding the macro upper trend line from the Corona crash, right? So as long as we hold that, we're still bullish until proven otherwise. But they certainly started to try to prove otherwise here this week, but we ended up actually pushing pretty nicely into the close. Shooting star candle, bearish engulfing candle from last week. Got a little downside follow through to that candle here this week. So we'll see if it has any more, but that candle ended up working, even though we opened up in the middle of the range. If we go to the daily chart, right, you can see we're actually kind of making a bit of a hanging man type candle. And that is honestly typically bullish. So we'll see if we get some follow through to the upside here as well. We'll take a look at a couple names that we think might possibly get a little bit of a dip buy going into next week in a little bit. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at the SPY and see what kind of volume came in here today. So a little bit of increased volume, right? But a nice bounce off the macro upper trend line on SPY. So once again, we'll see if maybe December is ready to get bullish going into next week. S&P futures, let's take a look here into the futures. So S&P futures, guys, we like to check here just at the on the lower term time frames, just kind of go over the price action a little bit and see what we had. So generally, we were a pretty bearish day today, right? We broke down, but look what happened at the end of the day. They really look at that volume. They really started to push into this thing and get things going. So that was an epic move right here. Here's your geometric breakout right at the end of the day, and with some real volume on that. So we'll see if that gets any follow through going into next week. But I tell you, they sure do like to keep things interesting. So pretty good stuff there. Let's see with the Qs. Clues with the Qs. If we go to the daily chart right here, guys, again, a little bit different. One of the big things here that is a possibility, right? If you look at this last wave up, you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, very clear 5 waves down. This could be ABC right here. So honestly, this move right here would be far-fetched to say this is like, its own impulsive wave, but if that was all wave through, I would say that's a finished wave right here. This is a corrective wave, and we might actually be starting a fresh wave up. So otherwise, if not, we could pull back to the 618 if I pull up our Fibonacci tools here and just do a quick little retrace right here and go to here. Right, you can see that we basically bounced off of the 50% retrace today and into the zone of the 618. So this is not actually a bad area for it to potentially look for a bounce. So again, bullish. All right, let's take a look at IWM. So IWM again, not as great a candle, but still hung on to the recent lows. So we've got that going on there. XLF. This has been a tough one. The XLF has been tricky. We had this bull flag breakdown, and just been up down over the last couple of days here on the XLF. The VIX, I would say, would probably be the biggest word of caution here going into the next week. We did put a big upper shadow off of it today, so that means we might actually get a little bit of a pullback. So short VIX over the weekend is a possibility, unless some major news comes out. I think they pretty much hit it with everything they could today. More Omicron, and what else did they have? The Fed's Bullard was saying, like, we need to raise rates sooner and taper more. That's it's like, okay, great. So at least Powell didn't come out and say that, right? So Apple ended up reclaiming a pretty decent amount of the range, and Tesla, this is one of our bearish trades today, ended up working down right to a potential support zone. So a nice move on that as well. Let's take a look at the BTC, the Bitcoins versus the US dollar. So again, guys, tough stuff right here. Look at that. We undershot the support level right here and are holding it right now. So if we can hold that over the weekend and go sideways, we could potentially break out again. Otherwise, a push down below these lows, like we said, guys, under 52,000. Look for the 50,000 tag, and we got pretty close to that. So pretty cool stuff there. Other names that were of interest today: Amazon. This one's actually doing a bit of a bounce here off of the. This thing already went up to 3,400. We called it to 3,400 almost at the by the end of the day into next week, and it's already almost there. So that was pretty cool. Bounce off the 200-day moving average on this one. If we go to NEO, this is right in a support zone right here. Again, getting beat up with a lot of the Chinese names. So we'll just kind of see if that is ready for a bounce here going into next week as well. mRNA, basically just a red candle here so far. Pfizer, still holding on to the gap, guys. Working on a bull pennant at this point. And another name that's been pretty strong here is Home Depot. A little bit of a pop there, and we'll see if how that upper shadow ends up playing out. Docu, guys, where's Docu? It's way down here. right? So this actually gave a gap and go to the downside. So an interesting move on that one. And MRVL, we pointed this out on the live stream today. Although it did give a gap up, it couldn't give the gap and go because it couldn't get over the pre-market levels. And finally, just finish off on a good note right here, Walgreens. So maybe everybody's all nervous and going to grab their run and grab some munchies or something like that at Walgreens going into this weekend. So kind of at a little bit of a resistance level right here, but a strong day today with increased volume. I think they sold some stuff in Europe or overseas. So let's see if we get any follow through on that one going into next week. So a decent candle on that. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll see you guys this weekend with Paul at 7:30 on Sunday for the Elliott Wave Show. Till then, stay healthy out there. Remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game.